Nestled deep in the Rocky Mountains of the American West is a place unlike anywhere else on the planet. Yellowstone National Park. Wild and remote, Yellowstone is one of our greatest treasures. A landscape so iconic, millions of people make the journey each year just to see its incredible beauty. But its true nature can't be seen from the roads. It takes a dedicated exploration into the park's wildest corners to witness and record its untamed nature. For years, we have been uncovering a hidden Yellowstone to record what truly makes this one of the most unique ecosystems on Earth. Join us for a multi-season exploration through the park. We'll journey deep into Yellowstone's interior, one of the harshest and most dynamic landscapes on the planet. We'll reveal a Yellowstone as poetic as it is wild, as thrilling as it is vulnerable. This is Yellowstone Journals. Winter is by far the longest season in the park, as well as its cruelest. With daily temperatures that rarely rise above freezing, it's cold. Only the toughest survive. Like this bighorn sheep. A fully grown ram's horns weigh more than the rest of his bones combined. It takes 2 to 3 years for bighorn sheep to fully develop these big, curved horns. As the rut continues on into early winter, one can still hear the mighty clashes of males fighting for dominance. When it comes to toughness, nothing beats the American bison. These beasts are built for this kind of weather. An adult bison can weigh up to 2,000 pounds, generating a ton of metabolic heat. A dense woolly undercoat keeps that heat trapped inside. To fuel all of that bulk, they can consume 24 pounds of grass each day. Using powerful muscles in their hump, they plow through the snow with their giant heads, exposing the grass. Their thick skin and multiple layers of fat help insulate them against the cold. And long guard hairs wick away moisture and help break the wind. These beasts have everything they need to survive the Yellowstone winter. Of the park's winter residents, wolves are at the top of the food chain. This wolf howls to his fellows, signaling that it's time to move out. Wolves will feed on bison when they can, but bison are strong and powerful and have a tendency to fight back. The pack sets off into the frozen unknown instead, in search of easier prey. This mountain lion family has been waiting out the storm all day. Mountain lions are shy and elusive. They prefer to move at night. These cubs will be in her care until they reach roughly 2 years of age. In that time, she'll teach them everything she knows about how to survive. The winter storm has passed, and it's nighttime in the park. Mom and the cubs emerge from their den. These cubs are 6 months old, still too young to go hunt with Mom. So she goes hunting on her own, caches her kill, then comes back to her cubs and leads them to dinner. A small deer like this will feed the family for 2 to 3 days. They'll eat, play, and nap throughout the night. When dawn arrives, they'll head back to the safety of their den. Mom will start taking them out on hunts at around 1 year of age. These two coyotes scavenge the remains of a young bison. But with its death comes much-needed food for the scavenging residents of Yellowstone. Opportunistic ravens constantly test the patience of coyotes as they try to sneak as much food as they are able. With such a bountiful feast in front of him, this coyote isn't going anywhere. This clever little fox is going to see if this coyote is in a sharing mood. So he waits. And waits. And waits. Finally, the coyote steps away, and the little fox makes his move. The coyote makes it obvious that the meal is his by marking the area. And returns hastily to continue gorging. This little fox will have to work harder for his dinner. Though foxes are related to wolves and coyotes, they tend to have more in common with cats. They're solitary, active at night, and walk on their toes, which gives them an elegant cat-like gait. Their ears are especially sensitive to low frequencies and can hear animals beneath the snow. They also have a hunting style similar to cats, slowly stalking their prey until they get within striking distance. This makes them excellent hunters and also quite entertaining. Winter has settled over the park as far as the eye can see. Various herds roam the terrain, always in search of food. A large pack of wolves travel across the landscape. Wolves can cover up to 30 miles a day in search of food. Wolves and bison cross paths often in Yellowstone, but only if there's a sick or vulnerable bison within the herd will wolves engage. A dominant alpha male and female lead them. The alphas mate for life and are the pack's only breeding pair. The rest of the pack consists of either their offspring or siblings. Nearby, our coyote still gnaws on his prized piece of carcass. Coyotes have a remarkable sense of smell, sight, and hearing. He knows immediately that something is near. As one of the wolves approach, our coyote leaves without a fight. He's no match for a wolf, who's nearly twice his size. Wolves were eradicated from the park in the early 1900s. They were reintroduced in 1995 and have thrived ever since. Their influence on the park has reshaped everything, from the shoreline of riverbanks to an increase of birds of prey and to healthier herds of elk and bison. The alpha she-wolf carries back a chunk of meat to share with the pack. It's not a total loss for the coyote, though. He manages to sneak off with a small piece of meat to enjoy elsewhere. The pack shares this newly found meal with one another. Wolf packs are highly social communities with very strict hierarchies. A new addition to the pack gets a little greedy and runs away with a large chunk of meat, his tail tucked between his legs in a show of submissive rebellion. This act is not forgotten, as another wolf has caught up with him and asserts his dominance. Soon, another wolf joins in. They nip and snap at him. He shows submission, but lightly fights back. More wolves join in. Wolves will do this to test one another and secure their place within the pack. This hazing will continue until the wolf has either been fully accepted or rejected from the pack. The brutality of winter is a challenge for even the most hardy of beasts. Whether it's finding food, being accepted into a community, or just staying warm enough to survive the day, the residents of Yellowstone are well adapted to these challenges. Nestled deep in the Rocky Mountains of the American West is a place unlike anywhere else on the planet. Yellowstone National Park. Wild and remote, Yellowstone is one of our greatest treasures. A landscape so iconic, millions of people make the journey each year just to see its incredible beauty. But its true nature can't be seen from the roads. It takes a dedicated exploration into the park's wildest corners to witness and record its untamed nature. For years, we have been uncovering a hidden Yellowstone to record what truly makes this one of the most unique ecosystems on Earth. Join us for a multi-season exploration through the park. We'll journey deep into Yellowstone's interior, one of the harshest and most dynamic landscapes on the planet. We'll reveal a Yellowstone as poetic as it is wild, as thrilling as it is vulnerable. This is Yellowstone Journals. It's fall in Yellowstone, a season of change. The park bursts with vivid colors. Some of the residents take advantage of the few remaining lazy days they have left before the winter cold sets in, while others are beginning to challenge one another for a mate. At the south end of the park, these wetlands are home to a variety of water species. Some of these animals will migrate south for the winter, like these ducks. But many of the other wetland dwellers will stay here all winter long. To survive, They'll need to prepare for the snowy season ahead. These busy beavers use the fall to stockpile food, create pools that are too deep to freeze, and to build and fortify their dams. Beaver dams help create wetlands. They also prevent bank erosion and raise the water table. Beavers even chop down entire trees with their large teeth, which further impacts the ecosystem. Because of this, beavers are considered a keystone species, since they have a huge impact on the environment. While other residents of the park soak up the last few days of the season, these beavers stay busy preparing for the long winter ahead. Fall also ushers in the rut, the mating season for many mammals throughout the park. Like this ram, who's eager to mate. Due to the heat cycle of females, the rut is characterized by an increased sexual excitement among males. This male bighorn sheep wants a female, known as a ewe. His best strategy is to try tending, where he rounds her up and defends her from other rams vying for breeding rights. But ewes respond to strength and dominance, characteristics which this guy seems to lack at the moment. He goes off to find his mate elsewhere. This ewe watches him retreat. She's already found her match. As autumn permeates the park, leaves turn and fall. As the beaver creates vast wetlands, the moose, the largest of the deer family, thrives in them. Aquatic plants that grow here are a key food source for the moose. Moose weigh up to 1,500 pounds and tower above all others at up to 9 feet. They are solitary creatures, unlike elk and deer, which form herds as a safeguard against predators. This large bull goes off alone in search of a mate. These two young grizzlies stand up in between bites to look out for other bears that may be in the area. With winter nipping at their fur, they load up on caraway, a plant which is rich in fatty acids and nutrients. They're preparing their bodies for hibernation. They'll need to live entirely off their body fat for 5 months while they sleep in their dens high up in the mountains. But even with the shadow of winter on the horizon, they're sure to take a moment to enjoy a colorful sunset. Our ram is still on the hunt for a ewe. But so are these two. With no potential mates in sight, perhaps it's time to test his strength. During the rut, rams challenge each other for dominance. This may look like a dance, but what's happening here is fierce and dangerous. These rams are landing powerful blows. Rams have a unique ability to absorb the impact of these blows so as not to incur any brain damage. But that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Enough practice for now. It's time to find a mate. In this sunny meadow, a red fox is on the hunt. Foxes primarily eat small mammals, such as prairie dogs, mice, and rabbits, which helps keep the rodent population under control. Although they occasionally miss when they pounce, foxes are formidable hunters. Foxes have physical features that give them an evolutionary advantage. They have whiskers on their face, but also their legs, which helps them to feel their way through their environment. As fall temperatures steadily drop, rattlesnakes must make preparations of their own for the coming winter. Like all snakes, they're cold-blooded and can't regulate their own body temperature. They need other snakes to help keep them warm during the winter. A snake's tongue is used to detect particles around it, to sort of sniff its way around. This can help it find prey, and in this case, a snake pit where other snakes are gathered. Once inside, the snakes enter a hibernation-like state where their energy and metabolism slows down. These rattlesnakes will wait out the long winter in these dens, and then, when temperatures rise, they'll all go their separate ways. But be warned, these rattlesnakes will strike at anything that doesn't heed their signature rattling. In the heart of the park, the bison rut is the most violent. This bull rolls on the ground to leave its scent and to display its strength. Other bulls square off in the middle of the herd. But unlike rams, these bulls aren't trying to drive off other bulls. Their goal is to rise in social status by challenging and besting the biggest bulls in the herd. The higher the status, the more females a bull can tend. After sparring with a couple of fellow wanderers, our indomitable ram is back, still searching for his ewe. He sees one. Now all he has to do is reach her. Let the tending begin. Rocky cliffs like this are actually easy for bighorn sheep to navigate. Sheep are very agile climbers, second only to the mountain goat. It would seem he's in the clear. But wait, a challenger appears on the horizon. That's approximately 300 pounds of ram, colliding with 300 pounds of ram. Throughout the fight, he continues to tend to the ewe. Battles like this can last days if the rams are well matched. These two are well matched. Our ram finally defeats his challenger. Together at last. With fall comes the purging of the old and promise of the future. Whether it's a long sleep, the continuation of your species, or business as usual, each of Yellowstone's residents have unique ways of saying goodbye to the warmth and welcoming the cold. Nestled deep in the Rocky Mountains of the American West is a place unlike anywhere else on the planet. Yellowstone National Park. Wild and remote, Yellowstone is one of our greatest treasures. A landscape so iconic, millions of people make the journey each year just to see its incredible beauty. But its true nature can't be seen from the roads. It takes a dedicated exploration into the park's wildest corners to witness and record its untamed nature. For years, we have been uncovering a hidden Yellowstone to record what truly makes this one of the most unique ecosystems on Earth. Join us for a multi-season exploration through the park. We'll journey deep into Yellowstone's interior, one of the harshest and most dynamic landscapes on the planet. We'll reveal a Yellowstone as poetic as it is wild, as thrilling as it is vulnerable. This is Yellowstone Journals. Summers in Yellowstone are a time of warmth and light. More than any other season, summer brings an abundance of life to the park. Birdsong fills the dry air. The wind is thick with pollen and the smell of flowering plants. More than 700 grizzly bears call the Yellowstone ecosystem home. Oftentimes, they spend their lazy afternoons foraging for bugs, berries, and digging for roots. Although the snow has just melted, and he must fatten up for the next long sleep, these early days of summer allow him time to sit and relax among the flowers. Although he may look calm and harmless, he can be deadly if threatened or provoked. At around 700 pounds, one of Yellowstone's largest residents is dependent on its smallest. Insects provide necessary pollination for plants and are an important food source for nearly every species throughout the park. Every midsummer, salmon flies cloud the shoreline. This resilient and colorful invertebrate emerges from the water after 3 years in the nymph stage. Evidence of this metamorphosis is littered on the rocks along the river. Salmon flies can measure up to 3 inches and seek out their mate on rocks and trees nearby. Females deposit their eggs on the water. Their size and weight causes erratic flight, making them easy prey and a critical food source for aquatic life in Yellowstone. Just downriver, a curious coyote searches the sagebrush-lined valley for an easy meal. Along the coyote's path, a herd of elk are coming down from the hills to graze in the green valley below. This curious coyote is no match for a protective mother. These elk could kill him with a swift kick. What was once a possible meal has now turned into a run for his life. The coyote has successfully eluded the elk and must now look elsewhere for a meal. There are around 6,000 elk that call Yellowstone home. In the summer months, herds of females raise their calves on the grasslands and hillsides. Because elk typically have only one calf per year, feeding and protecting their young is the main focus of the herd. Elk are most active in the morning and evening, while resting when the sun is high. They graze throughout the day while keeping a watchful eye on the surroundings. They must be careful, as much more formidable foes than a coyote are always a threat. One of those threats is the grizzly. Our grizzly has his own way of seeking relief from the hot sun by taking a cool dip in the river. High mountain runoff keeps this river cool, even during the hot summer months. A Canadian goose joins our grizzly in the summer fun. Once again, our coyote wanders the landscape in search of a meal. Nearby, a sandhill crane tends to her nest. She stands nearly 4 feet tall, with a wingspan of 6.5 feet. The coyote's patience will be helpful here. Just like with the elk herd, our coyote is slow to learn about mothers and their offspring. Maybe he'll have better luck elsewhere. After a nice long swim, our grizzly has built up a bear-sized appetite. At 2,100 times better than a human's, their sense of smell is widely known to be one of the best on the planet. Something is in the air. While plants and moths will do the job, meat is always a preferred meal. The elk herd is grazing in the afternoon sun, presenting an opportunity. A calf, small and vulnerable. If only he can separate it from the herd. The elk scatter. Then, just as quickly, they reform. trying to keep the babies in the center. Amid the chase, one calf gets separated. Once the herd has gained ground, two larger elk take a more offensive approach and draw the attention of the grizzly, allowing the slower ones in the group to escape. The calf is now alone, but her instincts take over and she does the only thing she knows, hiding amongst the tall grass and sagebrush. The grizzly, now tired from the chase, searches and sniffs for the scent of the young straggler. The little calf must stay hidden to survive this threat. Having been separated from the herd, the elk calf's instincts tell her to lie motionless in the meadow. The grizzly continues his search. Any movement from the calf will alert the bear to her location. Although the bear has a keen sense of smell, a baby elk has almost no scent. Our meandering coyote has found yet another opportunity. A ground squirrel suns himself on a log. Not fast enough. This hollow log should provide a safe haven until the coyote moves along. This is what determination looks like. As he whittles away on the log, the ground squirrel loses more of his cover and in a desperate move makes a run for it. Our coyote's bad day continues. Ground squirrels are in a constant state of vigilance. One of the ground squirrel's main enemies, the eagle, can see potential prey up to almost 2 miles away. It's time to hunt. This particular ground squirrel has sparked the interest of both a bald and a golden eagle. Without much ground cover, the ground squirrel is especially vulnerable. But squirrels have to eat too. The squirrel continues eating, clueless about the danger above. As the golden eagle zeroes in on his target, the squirrel is alerted and attempts to escape. Too late. The bald eagle, seeing an opportunity, chases the victor. But the golden eagle will not easily give up her prize. The bald eagle admits defeat and flies off. After unsuccessfully searching the area for prey, our grizzly wanders off. Mama elk continues the search for her baby. A series of calls tells the calf that danger has passed. They are reunited at last and return to the herd. As summer season continues in Yellowstone National Park, so does the ebb and flow of life. An eagle brings her chick a meal. An elk protects her calf. The coyote has a successful hunt. A bear's persistence is rewarded. Throughout the park, these dramas unfold every day. And as days turn into weeks, it would seem that summer could go on forever. But with everything, change is the only constant. And soon, the lush green valleys will become dry. The rivers will flow a little less. Days will become shorter. Autumn approaches, and with it, new characters and challenges for our Yellowstone Journals.